The Middle East, where we are now. The first topic that will be discussed in today's briefing is the political instability of Iraq. Since the formal withdrawal of American troops at the end of 2011, Iraq has displayed instability in its attempts to maintain a democratic government. In 2013, Iraq has been marred with bombings, protests, and arrests. Shiite Prime Minister Nuri Kamal al-Maliki has had little success at quelling the violence and is being accused of igniting the protests by refusing to resign from power. There is also concern of an al-Qaeda resurgence in Iraq. The listings on the screen are events that demonstrate political instability in Iraq in the month of April. Next, we will discuss Egypt. The following headlines reflect the most current political, social, and economic conditions in Egypt. While Mohamed Morsi's government has not been as successful as we've hoped, it has not been nearly as bad as we feared. The Egyptian economy is still sluggish, but the bigger concern is the growing government oppression of civil rights and increased violence towards Egyptian Coptic Christians. The Morsi government has staged violent crackdowns on protests and organizations and has been very oppressive of the media. The Muslim Brotherhood, of which Morsi is a part of, has also been accused of discrimination and violence against Egyptian Coptic Christians. We have reports of riots, and according to the City of New York, there has been an influx of over 1,000 Egyptian refugees, who are presumably Coptic Christians, since the beginning of the revolution. We're going to have to improve our relationship with Morsi so that we can maintain this critical alliance with Egypt while also promoting human rights and democracy. We will now discuss nuclear concerns in Iran. To be frank, Mr. President, we're being driven into a corner with Iran. President Ahmadinejad has repeatedly declared the reality of Iran's nuclear program and the continuing progress with its uranium extraction and enrichment. The United Nations, with the exception of China and Russia, are satisfied with increased economic sanctions. Israel, however, is demanding action. It's understandable due to the hostility that Israel has had with Iran. However, we must remind the Israelis that military force is not an option for us and convince them that it should not be a consideration for them. We have also recommended keeping an eye on whether or not a relationship has formed between Iran and North Korea. Both are volatile, a threat to our nation and our allies, and have strongly implied their willingness to use nuclear weapons. Iran is crucial to the stability of the region because if Israel believes that we are not doing enough to protect its interests, they have made it more than clear that they will be willing to take matters into their own hands. Our next topic is the Syrian civil war, and it is perhaps the most important matter we will discuss in today's briefing. The Syrian civil war has a monumentous impact on not only its country, the Middle East, but also the rest of the world. The following are the most recent pictures taken in Syria. The United States' current position on arming, aiding, or intervening with the Syrian rebels is the policy of waiting. The following excerpt is the most recent press report from the United States and United Kingdom involving our position on Syria. Here we have an official United Nations Relief and Works Agency report that documents humanitarian aid given to Syria. The next two slides will provide specific statistics of aid provided and the estimated number of refugees as a result of the Syrian civil war. As mentioned before, the Syrian civil war is having a big impact on its region. The following list provides some examples of effects of the Syrian civil war on three high-profile Middle Eastern countries. Please pay special attention to Israel. Israel has been the biggest proponent of investigating whether or not Syria has been using chemical weapons. The final topic we will cover in today's briefing of the Middle East will be cyber attacks. The United States must defend itself and its allies in the Middle East from cyber attacks. A new study by Norton from Symantec has revealed that 2 in 5 mobile users in the Middle East and North Africa have fallen victim to cybercrime. Saudi Arabia and Israel have both experienced recent cyber attacks, and while they both were relatively harmless, it is imperative that we and our allies prepare ourselves for any future incursion. That concludes today's briefing on the Middle East.